Hello B.F.D followers, thanks for coming back and joining me. I think I might have something really kind of special to share with you guys. I'm going to do something a little different now. I'm going to step away from the how-tos, and even though I only got a couple out there, but I have an opportunity, and you know what they say, you gotta take it while the iron's hot. So what I'm going to be doing is a blog, and this blog is going to be on a frame bike build that I have always wanted to do, and I'm really quite excited about it because, you know, at the end I will actually have a product that I can utilize or even sell later on, depending on how I feel about it and whether I want to do another one. And so if you just hang in there with me, I will go over exactly what I'm going to be doing. All right. Okay, so what has got me so excited is what is going through everybody's mind. I just know it. Yeah. So let me tell you, what I am going to be doing in this vlog, build, design, presentation, and everything is I'm going to build a belt drive gearbox hardtail designed for a long travel, something like a 160 fork, and it will be a mullet. And for those of you guys that don't or are not familiar with what a mullet is, it's a mixed wheel based bike, and it's larger front tire wheel up front, smaller one in the back. And so this frame will be designed for as a 29er and a 27.5 in the back. And I am just really excited about this because I've always wanted to do a belt drive. And so what I've done, and I've gone out and I've done some research to kind of figure out which gearbox is the box for me. And there are a couple of them out there, and I'm going to go through which ones I looked at and some of the pros and cons, and then I'm going to tell you which one I actually bought, and then we'll go through kind of an unboxing, because I actually got the part the other day, and I'm just it's a nice looking gearbox. Okay, so let's go over that. They kind of fall into like 3 to 4 design types. One is a solid gearbox type style. It's kind of elongated, and it's a basically it's a derailleur in a case, right? You still have all the cassettes, cogs and things like that, but you have it. It's all encased in a box. And then, of course, probably one of the earliest ones that you've ever seen and heard of is probably a roll-off. And a roll-off is a gearbox in a hub. And so it'd be rear-wheel drive, you might say. And so there are pros and cons for those two. You know, in just a minute, and I'll go through what I wanted and why I selected which one I selected. There's even a gearbox out there like a Rotix, and it's believe it or not, a CVT, continuous variable type of gearbox. It's more for like your city pedaling, in town type stuff. You know, the bike CVTs are very similar to the car CVTs in their downfall. So you might be able to tell right off that the CVT is not the one I selected. Neither is the roll-off. I might as well just go back and tell you as I bring up the certain types. The roll-off is a very good product. It's been around. The problem is it's heavy, and it's part of the rear wheel assembly. It's the hub. And so that is an unsprung weight, I'm going to call it an anchor, in the back. Those are just fine for if you're commuting, you're doing long trekking. But if you want a mountain bike, you don't want a lot of weight, extra weight, hanging off on your back side. It just destroys the characteristic of and performance of your bike. That's my opinion. So the roll off is out of there. Going back to like the WRP that I talked about, which was the WRP. And here you can see the schematics here. I wanted you to be able to see the insides of this thing. And because it's not gears, it's cogs and things like that. It's just a cassette with a little derailleur in there that will move back and forth. And I'm kind of interested about that one too. Now I'm looking at it more. I wouldn't mind having something like that just to compare. Now this Rotex CVT has a design that is very similar to the Pinion in the box and all that stuff. It's a little more rounded looking, and to tell you the truth, I didn't really like the way it looked either. You know, no matter what anyone says, aesthetics is a huge part of what gets you to want to ride a bike. Even though something might look just as good or not as good but have better performance, you might go with something that looks actually better just because, you know, that sex appeal, you might say, right? Okay, and so now the next three are the effing gear, yeah. And you can take a look at that, and then I want you to jump over and look at the Hillet, and then really quickly go look at the Pinion, and then go back and forth. They are so similar in their box design, and so they're quite aesthetically pleasing. And when I show you how you attach it to your frame and everything, you'll understand why these three come out probably on top, and why I went with one of these, because I had the option of using any one of the three with the 6-bolt attach plate that I have. I've heard of Pinion before. I've heard of Effingear. I don't know why I keep wanting to say something different there. But anyway, and then the third one is a Hillet. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but those are the three. And when I did more deep diving, the Effingear was really quite nice, and I still did not go with it because it didn't have the gear range. I mean, it had a number of gears, but it didn't have the high to low ratio that I wanted. I wanted something that was somewhere close to the SRAM Eagle or a little bit better, and it didn't have that capability, at least what I was looking at. So who knows, maybe there's a newer version out that I just missed. And then there's the Hillet, and I like that one too. It has some characteristics, and it was quite compact. It was a little lighter, and by now you've probably figured out I've gone with the Pinion, but the Hillet was a little lighter. Again, it just didn't have the gear ratio range that I wanted, but for future use, it's a potential because it shares the same 6-bolt configuration as the Pinion. So who knows, in the near future, if the Effingear and the Hillet have a price range that is stays really competitive, I might go ahead and buy one of those and do a comparison, because they do share that same bolt configuration, which that was actually a really nice thing, I think. I don't think they had to, but Pinion had their configuration out, I believe, first, and so this was a way of maybe not infringing, but trying to get in on getting more people interested in their gearbox, and it would be less of an impact to them. So that said, I went ahead and purchased a Pinion C1.9, and the 9 stands for their 9-speed. Now I had the option to go with the 12-speed, and I was really close to that. But again, you know, these gearboxes are actually quite hefty. I believe it's close to 5 pounds. So I wanted to kind of keep it as low as I could. And there is a difference between the 12-speed, of course, and the 9-speed. There's some, internal gearing pieces that you don't have because you have less gears. And so that was one. The gear range was also pretty interesting. The 12-speed had a percentage increase of 600, which is quite a bit. You should be like a mountain goat. You would be able to do some serious climbing, but you'd be spinning like a mad dog just to keep moving. And I probably didn't need that. And so I looked at the 9-speed, and with the belt ring combination that I have set up, I should get a ratio that would give me about a 580 ratio, where the SRAM Eagle system gives you about 520. So I should be able to actually pull better with this pinion setup, even though it will be a little bit heavier. The plus side is all the weight, all that extra weight is going into the bottom bracket area. And so it's right down at the bottom of your bike, and that is exactly where you'd want all your extra unused weight, or all that extra weight to go. It's just balances the bike out, rather than having a ton of weight in the back and a ton of weight in the front. You can do a little bit better bike management with your fork weight and weight than in your bottom bracket. And that is at least the way I feel. And so again, pinion 9-speed won out for me. Okay, so there you have it. The pinion gearbox is the one I went with. And if you're interested in getting a little bit more familiar with it and the different types that are available, I really do encourage you to go to VPL Bikes. And they have the website that supports their product, plus they have some other parts that work really well with the pinion gearbox. So I really encourage you to go there. Now, what I'm going to be doing is breaking this down into smaller little vlog type videos that you can join in and see and jump around depending on what you want to see. So what I'll do is, in the video title, I'll number them so you can get an idea of which one came first, and then also give a brief description in the title, so you can see if it's anything that you're going to be interested in, because some of this will be kind of like me ranting and raving, or giving some information about a product, or going through how I actually did certain things in my welding, or the materials that I'm going to be using, the design, and so forth. So stay tuned, and please take a look at these. I'm just doing this for fun, and I hope you enjoy these videos too. All right, next time.